Hi, Annie.
Hi.
Hi, Annie.
Hi, Anna. Thanks for coming.
Sure.
Sure.
How come nobody's talking? Is my volume turned off?
Hi, Fred.
Hi.
Our director, Fred. This is what happens when an introvert leads a session. I actually am messaging people.
That's good. That's good. I'm like, is my volume up? Like everybody's always chatty pre a Zoom meeting.
Everyone, this is Fred.
Hi, Fred.
Burke,
Hi,
our
Fred.
director.
Hi, Fred.
Hi, Fred. Nice to meet you.
All right, Lindsay's here.
Hey, Lisa, good to see you.
Hi, Lacey. Nice to see you too.
Annie, you have a different backdrop. Are you in a different room tonight for your
Yes, I'm
debut? What's
in
that?
the other apartment, but in their kitchen.
Oh, okay.
That's the rat pack behind me.
I noticed that right away.
That's so very classy New York.
Someone asked Mark, oh, is that, they couldn't see very well. I was like, is that from your wedding? We rolled
not,
deep.
not sure if that's a compliment or not.
Yeah.
So we've had a full day of programming. Tanuja had about 90 students on her 1 o'clock session, and I know Jack had about 60 or so. So it's been a full day. I see some familiar faces and names from the earlier session. So good to see everyone and welcome back.
I've popped into all of them and they've been really great. So I think those people that attended earlier sessions, they're really good. So and this will be also really good. So thank you for joining us on a Thursday evening.
Yeah, we'll give everyone a few more minutes to come on in.
So how have things been? When I was at school, we had so many on-campus activities, events, sessions. So now everything's moved on to like online virtual.
It seems like there have been even more in terms of quantity, because I think it's easier for people to pop in. It's easier for employers to come. I mean, January is a little bit quiet, but last semester, I think in terms of quantity, we had a lot to offer. But and on-campus recruiting, I think, went pretty well, even virtually. So.
And I think there's, this shift has been a good shift. I think employers are finding it much more effective to reach students, and it's easier for students to reach employers. So I think a lot of the things that have gone virtual have actually gone better than they have been in person, particularly at Baruch, where there's an issue with space. It's so hard to book rooms and be on campus and get people to the 14th floor. So it's been really nice.
That's great.
Yeah. I would also say that there's been no disruption in services for students. In fact, I think we're doing more virtually. So it's been good.
Yeah, but plans to be back in the fall. So we'll see. All right, so we'll kick it off and people can just come in as they may. So hi, everyone. Thanks for coming. This is the Career Changers panel. And I'd say students sometimes have hesitancy about announcing that they're a career changer, but you are in the majority, actually, if you're thinking about changing careers. I think which makes sense. Most of the students that use our office are career changers, but there are so many people who are coming to get their degree because they're either making a slight shift or a full 180. So you're in good company. And so I have panelists here with me today who have successfully made that shift to tell you about how they did it. I myself am a career changer. I had a variety of careers before, including professional dancer before I went to get my master's in college and career counseling, and now have been at Baruch at the Graduate Career Management Center for over 9 years now, and had loved it. So it's taken me a while to get here, but I finally got here and I'm very happy that I'm here. So hopefully your degree will provide you the same. So in terms of format, my colleague Lindsay is going to be managing the chat. So if you have any questions, feel free to put them in there, and we'll try to get to all of them. But without further ado, I'll go ahead and introduce my three panelists, or probably better to have them introduce themselves. But I'm just going to ask them some questions about their experience and their path. And they have a variety of backgrounds to share with you. So hopefully you'll get some great ideas about how you too can go about making a career change. So I guess, Lisa, if you wouldn't mind kicking us off, the first question is really kind of what you did before you came to Zicklin, what program or major you pursued, and what are you doing now?
Yeah, I would do it backwards. I'm currently working as a technical product specialist in a marketing technology company called New Star. I did my master's in information systems at Baruch and concentrated in data analytics. Prior to attending Baruch, I was working in marketing, but more from a function of strategy and content wise. And by attending this program, I gained more technical skills and helped me to pivot into more technical function roles still in the marketing field.
Great, thank you. And Yana, since you're next on my screen, if you wouldn't mind going next.
Sure. Hi all, my name is Yana, and I was a dancer as well, so as Annie, so we hit it off right away, and I've done like many sessions with her already in their career management center. It's been an amazing experience, just cannot recommend this enough. Hopefully I can get into details about that later. But so I had a career of 10 years as a circus performer. I performed in different countries. I was in Turkey, in Russia, in Europe, and eventually I made it to the United States. And I've been performing a lot until recently, but then coronavirus hit and we all sat at home with no performance opportunities or anything. And at the same time, I was pursuing the career, I was pursuing a degree in marketing in Zicklin. So I've been with Zicklin for a while now, but it was tied to my circus career. So I wanted to make like my little small business out of it and really market it and go that way. But then with everything happening, I decided to reconsider and do that 180 shift, and I switched to accounting. So I was always interested in audit. So I researched a lot on that, and I decided to try. So this was my first semester, and I attended virtual career fair, virtual professional events, all things virtual, and I got my first virtual internship, and it's been the second week so far. I joined Eisner Amper, one of the mid-sized audit firms. So it's been great.
Great. Thank you. And next, Radhini, if you would please introduce yourself. Radhini is joining us from the West Coast.
Hi, everyone. My name is Radhini. Thank you for having me here, Annie. Appreciate it. I am a senior consultant at Deloitte in the advisory division. I just recently moved here about a year ago, so it's pretty much not recent. It's been a year already. Prior to coming to the United States, I was working as a chartered accountant in India. I finished my bachelor's and master's in India, and then I moved to the United States to pursue a degree in quantitative methods and modeling at Baruch. Really excited to meet all of you.
Great, thank you. All right, so if you didn't already, we'll just kind of circle back. If you didn't already, I guess, talk about, let us know where you are now. And what were a few important things that helped facilitate your transition? So Lisa, if you would start us off.
Yeah, for me, I think the career transition definitely wasn't easy and too straightforward. I was clear that I wanted to pivot into a more technical role because I see the transition of the entire industry is going from more like content strategy driven to more data and analytics driven. And then I knew that I was lacking that technical perspective and skill set to be able to do so. That's why I decided to enroll in Baruch, and I think this program would help me to gain the skill set and experience that I needed. I think definitely it was challenging in the beginning, transitioning from a more like liberal art background to like the technical background, learning all those technical skills like Python, SQL, R, and data visualization tools like Tableau. So I think at Baruch, I spent a lot of time in the library learning those technical knowledge and skills. Working on the projects from the coursework. And besides that, another important thing is really to connect yourself with the industry and also the alumni that Baruch has to offer, like the network that Baruch has to offer. There are so many, when we used to be on campus, there are so many on-campus activities, companies. Those companies would come to the campus to do their introduction and connect with students. And that's a great opportunity for you to know what those companies do, whether there are opportunities there and whether you will be a fit for the roles that they have. And also, even though you're not finding any roles that you're really interested or you're fit for, but it's great to expand your network and expand your knowledge to really figure out what you really want to do through those events and conversations with people. I think those two pillars. One is enhancing my own technical skills. Second is really spend the time networking with people in the industry, and also networking with your fellow students in classes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I always tell students that the hardest part of the whole job search is just figuring out what you want. And once you figure out what you want, you can be more targeted with your efforts and your time and how to get there. So thanks for that insight. And Yana, tell us what sort of facilitated your transition.
Yeah, so I'm just starting right in my career. I'm currently interning, so I have more experience on like researching of what I want to do and securing an internship. And that was the biggest thing, just like you Annie just said just right now, that I didn't know. Like in accounting, there's so many different roles, and I'm coming from circus. Like I have no idea. So I know that I'm interested. I know that I want to like. I love Big Four. I want to go learn about them. So I spend a lot of time researching about companies, just going on their websites and like reading, seeing, and thinking, would I be a good fit for this company? Like, do I see myself working there? Do I see, I would go look at their values, their culture, and like see if, does it get me excited? Do I really like it? And then like more drill into more details, how many, like what positions they have and stuff like that. And since it all was virtual, I attended a lot of virtual events by companies. And that was actually the best thing that I could ever find. That was all, and all the resources that I used, they were all from Baruch. Like, I'm not saying that you don't need anything else. You can definitely go, like, all internet is at your disposal. You have Google as your best friend. But honestly, in the first semester, just there were so many resources in Baruch that I just never ran out of them. So I kept using them. I went to this webinars about companies, asked questions, and that way I identified that I was interested in audit. So that's probably for, if it's your very first step and you just started your career change, really spend some time researching like what do you want to do within this role, because accounting is huge, finance is huge, information technology is huge. There's so many things. And then the second thing was finding confidence. So I'm coming from completely different background. I don't know anything about it. And I was very intimidated. Like, there are all these people who have more experience than me. They already done it. They have bachelors in accounting. I have bachelors in marketing. But I went and I wrote down, like I made a list of all the skills I have, everything I've done. And I tried to see how it ties to accounting and what could I transfer. So yeah, gaining confidence, like thinking what will help you to feel better and bring all the skills, because you have the skills. We all have the skills. If we come in from a different profession, like we have something we already learned and we can definitely apply it.
Thanks, that's super helpful. Yeah, another conversation I often have with students is they think that they're making a career switch and they're starting from absolute scratch, and they're not. They're bringing so many other life experiences and transferable skills with them that are highly valued by almost any employer you could talk to. So it's just figuring out how to crystallize those and speak about them. And it's hard talking about yourself, but it's a process. And Rodney, we'd love to hear about your transition, which you've made a couple small transitions.
Yes, correct. So when I came in from India, I was working in a CPA firm back in India, and I loved what I was doing essentially because it was so client oriented, and I got to meet new people and understand their problems. I always knew that I wanted to do something that was client oriented, but I also wanted to take a break and come here and study and sharpen my skills, and that's exactly what I did. I pursued my master's in QMM, like I said, and then I try to acquire as much as I could in terms of knowledge and technology, statistics, mathematics. This is where the world is heading right now. So I did that. And then temporarily, I was hired out of an internship at a company called Ziff Davis. I worked there for 3 years. It took me 3 years to make a transition to Deloitte. And I was missing the client interaction piece a lot because that's something that I enjoy doing a lot. That's when I started, going back to Annie, going back to GCMC, updating my resume and speaking to her about what I'm really interested in doing. And there were a couple of options open for me. So I could either go out and audit and do that, but I didn't have the CPA certification to pursue a career in audit. And so the second option that was in front of me was to pursue a career in advisory, which is also a client-facing job, but it would be more within the internal realms of a company. At first, I was hesitant in doing it. I had my heart set at audit, and it was difficult for me to go back to being within industry again. But as I explored more and I spoke to more people within Deloitte, and I spoke to more people who were within the advisory division, I got to know how advisory really operates, and how it's so similar to audit. The only difference being that we work within the company realms and not as an external auditor. The transition wasn't easy at all. Again, I was in an industry for 3 years, and then coming out of an industry and then working within Big Four, which is so demanding, was a difficult transition. But you eventually get there, and I'm glad that it's all over. But it's a new beginning, and I'm very excited.
Yeah, it's a process. It's a journey. So yeah, like Lindsay put in the chat, which I think is really helpful. Sometimes you don't go directly from A to C. You need something in between to help you get there. And you may not even know that yet, which is okay. So my next question is about networking, which, can be a bit of a scary concept if you've never done it before, even if you have done it before. I'm an introvert, and so the thought of walking into a big room with a bunch of people and making conversation, it can be a little bit scary. So maybe you could touch on how you reframed networking, if you did, what strategies sort of helped you connect with others, and how networking really helped you, if it did, sort of secure your current position. So Lisa, please.
I'm also an introvert. I think I definitely practiced a lot networking skills, feeling more comfortable talking to strangers through the networking events I attended during when I was at Baruch. I think first of all is just sign yourself up for all the events possible, like relevant to the career you want to pursue. Try to join all the events if possible to do, and then set up maybe some small goals for yourself. For example, you tell yourself, at least you get to ask like a question to the panelists during the event, or 1 or 2 questions, or you get to talk to like 1 or 2 people attending the event. Set up some like small goals to really push yourself forward. It may be hard in the beginning, but after a few times that you definitely will gain more confidence. They're also human, right? They're not, monsters. They're also human, and you have, interactive conversations with them. And also really like bring questions to those events. For the events, do your homework, research, do some background research about the panelists, and see anything that, you're curious about, so that when you reach out to talk to them, you have the actual questions to ask, to connect with them. I think, one is join all the events you can. I think the other is Baruch really has like a very resourceful network through the alum graduated from the school. I actually got my first internship in data analytics field through Baruch from CareerNet. I think it's called Handshake now. It was an internship opportunity posted there also by alumni. She graduated a few years before me, and then when she needed to hire intern in her job, she came back to Baruch. She was also the panelist, one of the panelists at my orientation when I first enrolled in Baruch. And when I had that alum as my supervisor, there were also like a few advantages because she attended Baruch and she was doing a similar program as I did. I think she was in QMM. So she knew exactly what coursework I was taking, and also what skills that I had. And also because she was the alum, she's more willing to teach you on the job and being more patient. When you're at workplace, nobody is actually, really responsible to teach you anything. You gotta, pick up the speed by yourself. But having that alum as my supervisor, she is more willing to teach me, spend time with the intern. And for herself, it was also an opportunity to demonstrate her leadership of like leading a team of like a couple interns, so that for her, she can also demonstrate to her boss that she has this leadership to prep her for her next role, for her next like promotion or managerial job. So it's like a mutual beneficial thing. And I really feel like grateful for having that opportunity, the first step, the first internship and experience in data analytics. And I think that's pretty crucial, because when you do like career change, I think the first step is the most difficult. And once you have that first experience, then the more, and as you gain more experience, then you will have like even better opportunities. For my first data internship, it was more about like data governance. You do a lot like data cleaning, data reconciliation, a lot of spreadsheets related stuff. It wasn't like really like analytics or advanced modeling, but because I had that first experience in data, when I looked for the second and third internships, that was like a good foundation and the start for me to get like the further better opportunities. Yeah.
Great, thank you. Yeah, that you might do 2 or 3 internships during your time as a student, and they may be slightly different from one another. So you're using it as an experience, not only to apply your skills, but also to figure out, is this what I think I want to do? I think the job is A. Is it really A, or is it B plus C plus D? So you get to try out something for a couple months, which is another great benefit of being a student. Great, thank you. And Yana?
Just wanted to say that Lisa brings amazing points. I was like nodding the entire time. Yes, exactly. So yeah, I feel it's super crucial to like have some kind of idea when you go to sign up for a networking event for sure, or prefer any event that Baruch offers you virtually currently. So you sign up and just try to like research a little bit on what the company does, who these people are, and come with questions. So my personal experience was these people are all super nice, always say, please connect with us on LinkedIn, please send us a message, like let's chat and stuff like that. But I feel it's even better to ask questions then when you're exactly in that meeting, because they're all busy professionals. Like, yeah, you will add them on LinkedIn, but it might take them like 3 weeks to get back to you. So yeah, and like once you're there and they allocated this time for questions, like they come there, they know this is an hour that I spent on the Baruch event and I have this time, and like really make use of this time, basically ask questions then. Then another thing that I discovered at Baruch, I was marketing degree and I didn't do like any research on what resources Baruch has. My loss, 3 years, unfortunately, a lot of wasted time, but now I'm on it and I found this executives on campus program. It is absolutely amazing. They either do mentor events like throughout the year, or you can apply and get paired with a mentor. That's what I've done. And I have a previous, so my mentor was a partner at their accounting firm. He has a CPA license. He knows so much about the industry. And I meet with him once a month. And networking has been one of these big areas that I talk to him about, because I'm an immigrant, a recent immigrant. Like I didn't know what networking means before I moved to the US. So he helps me a lot on like what's appropriate, what's not, like, and in career center as well, you can come and you can ask like, how is this best way I approach this person, the situation, what's the language to use? They can definitely advise you like what's appropriate. So yeah, participate, ask questions, be proactive.
Thanks. And it does get easier over time. the more you do it, the more you'll have your kind of go-to list of questions that you ask. You'll understand that, oh, I might be able to connect with someone on something totally outside of accounting, on music or food or something that's just normal everyday stuff, because as Lisa said, they're human too. So you can absolutely have conversations not just about the career to make those connections. And Rodney, please.
Sure. It's really difficult going third, falling after Lisa and Yana, but I'm going to try. I'm an introvert as well. It's very difficult for me to go out and make small talk. I can't do that. It doesn't come to me very naturally. But what's important to understand is that you don't have to go out and talk to a lot of people if they're in the room. It's okay to just make that small conversation with one or two people and getting to know them. And always not with an agenda, perhaps, but just making sure how their day was, or asking about what they do and getting to know what they do for a living or what their hobbies are and stuff like that. I think small steps from there, you can eventually get to a point where you are comfortable talking to someone about your goals, where you want to get to, and my experience has been that everyone that I have networked with has been super nice to me. Touch wood, there hasn't been an experience where someone has been rude, and you will always find more of nice people out there more than the rude ones. So don't be afraid to go network, talk to them, ask them about their experience, ask them about how they overcame their challenges and how they reached where they are. I think especially the Baruch alums, my experience with them has been super nice. They've talked to me extensively about their experiences at Big Fours and outside of that, and what they did to get into Big Four. So don't hesitate to even do a cold connect with someone on LinkedIn. Just reach out randomly and say, hey, I'm at Baruch as well, and I saw that you're at X and Y and Z company, and I really want to get into there. So what's your advice on what I should do? And more often than not, you'll find someone more than willing to help you out.
Great, thank you. That's still very helpful, even though you're going third. That's a lot of extra additional good advice there. So I'm going to encourage everyone to start asking questions or start putting your questions in the chat. I can ask the panelists more questions, but also want to get to the questions that you have. It looks like we have a question here. They're asking about, they want to change their career from a senior accountant to IT audit, but they're working full time. So getting an internship might be challenging. Yeah, I totally hear that. A lot of our students are working full time. That's sort of what Baruch is students working full time. So I would definitely come meet with us, because we can kind of put together an individual strategy for you. It's like Sangeeta. I'm sure you've already sort of looked into maybe making any transitions or building skills or projects while you're in your current role. You're probably working a lot, so maybe that's not super feasible. This is often where networking can come, in handy as well, because sometimes you just need someone to take a risk on you. Like, they know you as a great performer. You're coming with so many transferable skills and experiences, and you just need someone to put you in there, and you can show them what you can do. So building relationships with people so that they will take that risk on you, even though you haven't technically done that particular job before, can be really helpful. Lindsay or the panelists, if you have any other thoughts or want to add on to that. I think, yeah.
Yeah, one thing I just added to the chat, Annie, is if you are working full time and you don't want to give up that full time work to do an internship, which makes a lot of sense for many reasons, are there ways that you can get involved at your current company to expand the skill set of the field that you're looking into? So, thinking about projects or any ideas you have, and this is something that you could also brainstorm with us. So utilizing the opportunity that you're currently in and kind of expanding to that skill set in a way that's going to benefit the company, but also benefit you in the long run.
Absolutely. I've actually seen practical examples in my work at Deloitte, where I've seen testers do both finance and IT testing. And when they find that factor was it interesting, they try to expand on it by pursuing CISA certifications. That's a great certification to have if you're interested in the IT audit field.
Yeah, absolutely. That's really helpful. Zachary has a question about executives. So they've shifted it around a little bit with the pandemic. Typically, every new student in the fall semester gets an email to fill out an application. There are a couple different iterations of executives on campus. One is the year-long mentorship that Jana was speaking about, where you are paired with a mentor and you meet monthly for the academic year. Other iterations are mentor for a morning or mentor for an evening, which is sort of like mentor speed dating. So you get to meet a couple different mentors over the course of that event. But typically the applications will come in the fall, pretty early September. I know you get a lot of emails when you're first becoming a student, so just keep an eye out there. Let's see, a question here from Seaway. When did you guys start your first intern in your new field after your change of career? So I know Jana had been a student for one semester, and accounting's a little bit of its own animal because recruiting is happening almost as you're starting in the fall. And you can apply for winter internships or summer internships. But I guess timelines for the other women.
I started interning in the second semester as well. So I did a full-time internship along with 4 or 12 credits each semester. That's 4 lectures each semester, 4 subjects each semester. So it's 40 hours of work plus the 4 subjects. It's quite difficult and challenging to take care of both or balance both, but it's also a great experience as well. But I really urge you all to give that a try.
Yeah, I think for accounting, as far as I know, like for Big Four or the mid-sized accounting firm, they have their recruitment cadence, like fixed recruitment cadence. For me, I'm in more like data analytics and marketing field. I actually started my first internship in data. I think I started my semester in fall in September, and I was lucky enough to get my first internship in November, like the same semester. But that was like not like a big like recruitment event, like on-campus recruitment. It was just more like on demand as needed by like the employer. Like they just posted on CareerNet, so I just applied. Mm-hmm.
Thanks. Lady has a great question about availability and access to the GCMC. So whether you're part-time or full-time, you have full access to the GCMC, both during your time as a student as well as an alum. And that includes access to Handshake, which is our main portal where we post all the jobs, events, and resources, as well as one-on-one meetings with advisors. So you have access to that for free, basically forever until you retire and after.
I just wanted to add on get an internship in the first semester. I went to the career fair and I did not think that like I'm there to get an internship. I was there to get experience on what a career fair is because it was my first career fair and it was the first virtual one probably for Baruch and for us all. So, and I spoke to so many people and I got some connections from it, and I followed up with them, sent thank you emails, and that's how they advised me to apply for the internship, and I did, and eventually I just got the winter one. So it's just always, you know, I was curious, I went in, and I felt like I won a lottery ticket that eventually got an internship. So just gotta try and see what happens.
Yeah, it is challenging to secure something in your first semester because you're just still building the skills that you intend to apply. I often work with students and recommend putting academic projects that they're working on in their coursework onto their resume because that serves as a bridge between what they're learning sort of theoretically in their course and how they're applying it more practically. And there are also a lot of free resources, Coursera, and the many other similar websites where you can build technical skills. And then if you come to see us as well, there's another website where you can do virtual internships, like short projects to put on your resume to demonstrate that, hey, I'm building the skills already, even though I've been a student for a couple weeks. We have a question here about job descriptions saying that they are expecting 1 to 2 years of experience or 3 to 5 years of experience before you apply. I would take those demarcations kind of with a grain of salt. They really care about the skills that you're bringing, and your master's degree will count as 2 years of experience by default. So you will be by default gaining those years of experience. And then what is your advice on how to stand out? So I think we've kind of been talking about that is leveraging your transferable skills, making the connections, building the technical skills where you can and putting them on your resume.
I had a question. Sorry to
Sure.
interrupt.
Yeah, sure.
Hi, Annie. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Anna. Hi, Radhini. Just to add up, Radhini is my undergrad friend, and she only encouraged me to apply to Baro.
Oh, yay. Well, welcome.
Yeah. So my question is that actually I'm looking out for a career change. Same like Radhini is a chartered accountant, and we were in the CPA field. I was also in that field, and I was working for a compliance team in a private sector bank. Right now, I'm looking for a career change into something like M&A or advisory. So when you apply for internships, how do employers look towards you when they know that it's a career change? Like, do they expect you to have obviously, like, we might be having some sort of similar skills, but they do know, right? It is an internship, and you don't have like a 2 or 3 year experience in that field. So are they like accommodative?
Yeah, I think that's the beauty of an internship is there's a built-in learning curve and they're giving you extra runway. Students will sometimes ask me, well, what's the difference between a part-time job and an internship? A part-time job is a little bit more plug and play. So they're expecting you to sort of hit the ground running. But yes, with an internship, sorry, the cat. With an internship where they're expecting you to come in with certain transferable skills, the soft skills, but they're also expecting to train you on the more technical skills. They want you to be able to manage your time, to ask good questions, to know what you don't know, to be able to do research on your own. But yeah, they're fully sometimes students will feel like they have imposter syndrome, and I tell them, well, they've seen your resume, like they know what your experience is and what your skills are. They're still interested in you as a candidate because you have those skills, and that's just building upon what you already have.
Do they favor people who have or who already have an experience in that field to people who are a fresher or just gonna change their career to that field?
Well, hiring managers and recruiters are busy, so the lowest hanging fruit for them, yes, is to hire someone who's already been doing the job, because recruiting is expensive and takes time. But if you are using your networking relationships, if you're putting in a cover letter to explain why you're interested in making the transition, if it's on your LinkedIn profile in your about section and you're explaining your rationale about why you're curious to make this transition, all those things come together. But certainly if you have an interpersonal relationship and you can introduce yourself and explain why you're interested in this transition, I think it goes a long way.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, sure. Let's see, what did I miss? So this is a great question from Luis about how to build lasting connections with employers or with networking connections versus just meeting them at a LinkedIn event. You have a quick interaction and then that's kind of the end of it. Yeah, you're probably reaching out to them maybe like once a month, once every 2 months. So you're not maybe having, it depends on how the relationship goes. Sometimes you hit it off with someone and then you're in contact a lot, but otherwise you might be reaching out to them, for example, over the holidays. Maybe you're asking them how their holidays went, or you're wishing them a happy new year, or you're saying, I read this book that you recommended and here are my thoughts on it, or I read this article that I thought was interesting. What do you think? So you're just kind of popping up on their radar screen every month or 2 months, just to remind them that you're there and that you're interested. And also professionals, I think, like to help people who are helping themselves. So just simply giving them an update of your progress, parts of certification exams that you've passed, or you did this presentation that was really challenging and your group came together and gelled really well and you learned a lot. All those, I think, motivate this person to maintain the relationship with you, and they see that you're making progress, and so they want to help you. I don't know if any of you have any thoughts on sort of like the initial relationship is maybe a little bit easier than the maintenance of that relationship.
Yeah, I think maintaining the relationship can be hard because you also don't want to, for the purpose of having conversation, to have conversation with them, because it would be like awkward and not natural. For me, I think that may happen to like those really industrial work professionals. To me, I can also share a story that happened to me that I network with, not really like a professional, but also she was also like a graduate student in Columbia, but have the same career interest like me. Back then, and that actually got me my second internship as the summer data analyst at Investopedia. So at that time, I had the LinkedIn Premium service activated. And then with that service, you will be able to see who viewed your profile, right? So it was one day that I saw this girl that viewed my profile. So I viewed back her profile. And then I saw that she has very similar background, skill set, career interest like I do. Like she was also putting like SQL, Python, R, like those technical skills on her profile. And she was doing an internship as a data analyst at Investopedia. So since she built my profile, meaning that she was like interested in my background as well, right? So I viewed back and then I sent her a LinkedIn message saying, hey, I noticed that you built my profile. And I do see that we share a lot, same career interests. Will you be like interested or have time to have a coffee chat sometime? And then, yeah, she responded. And then we had a coffee chat in Bryant Park, which is close to Investopedia's office. She was actually a graduate student in public health at Columbia, but she has this interest in data analytics. She, even doing like public health, she was also focusing on like the statistic part of the program. At that time, I also already got an internship offer with the Department of Health, and a couple other internship offers. So I was also assessing like which one I should choose. And she was quite familiar with like the public health system. So I think that was also something we chatted about, and I would like to hear like her comments. So through that conversation, coffee chat, that we connected, right? I didn't have, although I think what the internship she was doing like at Investopedia data analytics, it was a great internship. I would like to do it too. but I didn't like bring up or have the intention of like taking over the job from her. But we somehow connected by the shared career interest in data analytics and make friends with each other. And I think maybe 2 months later, like one day I was outside and then I got a text message from her. She said, hey, at that time she was in the last semester of her program and she was looking for full-time. So she texted me that she got a full-time job somewhere else and she's looking for the successor for her internship at Investopedia. She asked me if I would be interested. And of course, I was interested, and then I sent over my resume. She passed along my resume to her supervisor, and I had the interview with her supervisor. At that time, there were also like other candidates from like Columbia, students study like statistics from Columbia. But in the end, I got the internship. I think this story can speak to like how you leverage LinkedIn, how you network from the curiosity you have, and really, the genuine curiosity to get to know people and also like make friends with them, and also like how to maintain like the relationship. Don't put like any pressure on the relationship. Just have an attitude as like, you two, it's not something that you only take from other people. You are also having things to offer in this relationship. Yeah.
Thanks, Lisa.
Mm-hmm.
Naomi has a question about virtual internships versus remote internships. So Lindsay put in the chat this website called Forage, which is the virtual internships, which are a little bit more project based. They still are sort of administered by really well-known companies. But the remote internships maybe are slightly different because you do go through a job application process. I think if we were all interacting in person, they would be in person. But like Yana is doing her internship remote, I think, right? Yeah. So a lot of our
100% remote.
Yeah. So a lot of our employers had to switch to remote, back in March. So everyone's kind of adapted. And yes, as Luis asked, we will be still holding a variety of methods to reach us when we go back to campus, hopefully in the fall. So we can do still phone calls, Zoom calls, virtually, because we know sometimes people work and sometimes it's easier just to speak this way versus coming into the office. But we would love to see you eventually. We have a few more minutes. Anything that I missed? Feel free to speak up if you have an important question that I happen to miss. I'm just scrolling through here. But I know everyone has very individual situations, so we're more than happy to talk you through it. We're available from 9 a.m. until sometimes really late in the evening. Some of our advisors have later appointments in the evening. So please just make an appointment and we'll talk you through it. Even if you're not sure why you need an appointment or what you're going to talk about when you make the appointment, or you're not sure what your first step is, that's totally fine. We'll just meet you where you are and kind of go from there. Even if you're not really sure where you want to end up, that's fine. We can start talking about it. All right. Well, I want to thank all my panelists for coming today. It was super helpful information, as I knew it would be, which is why I invited them. And thanks, Lindsay, for co-hosting with me and managing the chat. Yeah, we would love to see you. We have a bunch of open appointments for January. They might fill up, but I think the longest you might have to wait is like a week to get in to see us. So please make an appointment through Handshake, and we'd love to see you. Thanks for coming, everybody. Take care.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good night.
Bye.
Everybody.